Okay, hi guys. My name is Morgan, and the protein I picked was insulin. And the journal article I picked is from the library website. I think Gale, the Gale Online library. And the article is called Insulin Biosynthesis, Secretion, Structure, and Structure-Activity Relationships. And it's written by Michael Weiss, Donald Steiner, and Louis Phillipson from Howard Hughes Medical Institute and University of Chicago, in February of 2014. So this article goes into a lot about insulin. It's basically the structure and function of insulin, how insulin was discovered, and what people think about insulin now, and what mutations are caused in this protein. And so I'm just going to go into a little bit of information that I thought was interesting from this article that I would like to put in my paper. So the first thing that I thought would be interesting is that they describe the structure of insulin. They describe that it contains determinants of foldability, trafficking, self-assembly, and receptor binding. And it talks about the A and B sites of glucose and the binding of insulin. And then they talk about the key functions of insulin, which this one's a little tricky to say. So one of the key functions of insulin is stimulation of glucose intake from the systemic circulation and suppression of hepatic gluconeogenesis, together regulating glucohomeostasis. So I wanted to put that in my paper because obviously that's a mouthful, but it's one of the main functions of insulin. And then, so one of the next things was the mutations that are caused in insulin, which is obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but diabetes type 1, diabetes type 2, and gestational diabetes. So a lot of this one types about diabetes mellitus. So there are mutations that cause disorders like diabetes mellitus and gestational diabetes from insulin. And then the next thing that I thought was really interesting in this article was it described how insulin was discovered and how people think about it now. So it was discovered at the end of the 19th century by von Meiring and Minkowski, and they noted that the removal of the pancreas caused diabetes mellitus in dogs. So with that, in 1916, Schaefer speculated that an anti-diabetic hormone, which he named insulin, which it was not spelled like we spell insulin, but it was spelled insulin, and it was secreted from the pancreas. So from then on, it goes to just say how it was then in the 90s or in the 1920s, and how the modern view of insulin is now. So that's why I wanted to use this article for my paper, and I hope you like my paper when I'm done.